Hey guys, SeetherCord here, and welcome to my newest top 5 video for today. Now I know that a lot of you guys might be wondering why there's no top 5 furry Nintendo Switch games. Well, the reason for that is because I feel that I want to wait until the Switch's lifespan is completely over, and once all of the games for the system are released. Because who knows, there could be some awesome furry related Switch games that are right around the corner. I could bet this with the fact that the Switch Lite just came out recently. So now that we're done covering all of the Nintendo home consoles for my top 5 furry related game series, it's time for us to move on to the other half of Nintendo's library when it comes to furriness. And that is the Nintendo's handheld lineup. And to start off this lineup of consoles, we're not starting it off with the Game Boy. We'll actually be starting it off with the Game & Watch because that was originally Nintendo's first actual handheld console. One thing that makes the Game & Watch different from most other handheld gaming consoles is the fact that you don't just buy one system and then buy the cartridges for each individual game. No, each system you buy has one game installed in it and then you have to buy another to play another game. Another interesting thing about the Game & Watch is that the games are designed around one individual screen, with a bunch of still images that individually light up at different times to give off the illusion of gameplay. Now one more thing before we get started here, this episode of this top 5 series might be a little bit of a joke when it comes to finding furry games because all of these Game & Watch titles are so simplistic that it's really difficult to find any real anthropomorphic interpretation within them. But still, I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm the boss of this YouTube channel. To start off this list, we have a tie for 5th place, and that's because these two are essentially the same for the most part. And these games are entitled Mickey Mouse and Mickey and Donald. To start off with the Mickey Mouse game, this game focuses on Mickey surrounded by a bunch of chickens and chicken coops. The objective of the game is to help Mickey catch as many of the chicken's eggs in the basket before you miss 3. Now to describe Mickey and Donald, this game focuses on Donald at the top of a burning building and Mickey at the bottom with a fire truck. It's Mickey's job to keep the fire truck in check and it's Donald's job to get rid of the fire with the water. And Goofy on the other hand isn't doing shit! Anyways, to give both these games credit, these games have good art styles to them and have more detail in the images rather than most other titles in the system's history. I'd recommend these titles for any collector because they're pretty fun. Now for number 4 on this list, we have a game entitled Turtle Bridge. Turtle Bridge's main objective for this, I believe, is that a kid has to hop back and forth amongst a line of turtles to transport what I think is money or gold or something along those lines. And while crossing, you need to look out for when the turtles dive and bob their heads out of the water. I'd say that this one's a pretty fun game, but however it comes off as a little too easy. Still, give it a try if you can. Now for the next game on this list, I believe that this was a stage in one of the Super Smash Bros. Titles. And this Game & Watch title is just simply entitled Lion. For this game's objective, you play as 2 different lion tamers that are trying to keep a lion within its cage at the zoo. You have to move up and down while holding a chair and you also have to use your whip on them. This game's pretty exciting and I would definitely recommend this one for sure to anyone or any furry that wants to start playing or collecting Game & Watch games. Now for the next game on this list at number 2, this is definitely one of the most recognizable and iconic Game & Watch games. And the reason why this is the case is because the cephalopod in this game is the final smash for Mr. Game & Watch in the Super Smash Bros. Series. And the Game & Watch title that I'm talking about is simply called Octopus. The goal of this game is to scuba dive underwater and collect as much buried treasure as you can. You do all of this while dodging the constantly moving tentacles from the octopus. In my opinion, this is one of the best Game & Watch titles because it's simply just really cool. I love how they also implemented color into the art design as well for this one. Also, on top of that, this game is really fun as well and I definitely recommend this one to any Game & Watch fan. And here we go guys, we are now finally at number 1 on this list. For this final game, we have to go with the one that features one of the most iconic furry Nintendo characters as well as this simply being the most iconic Game & Watch title of all time. And that Game & Watch title is just simply known as Donkey Kong. The objective of this game is basically the exact same as the original arcade Donkey Kong, but still, it's a hit classic and definitely represents the Game & Watch system well, which also with the Donkey Kong aspect can definitely attract some furries to the Game & Watch. This is definitely a Game & Watch title that no furry should miss out on. And that pretty much wraps up my list of the top 5 best furry-centered Game & Watch games. I know this is kind of a silly one and all, but I wanted to get a full lineup of Nintendo's history by going on the Game & Watch, and we have some representations of furries in it, but not that much, but still, this was a fun video to make in my opinion. How do you guys feel about the Game & Watch? Have you guys ever played a Game & Watch? Have you ever heard of a Game & Watch before? Have you not? Do any of you guys have any interest in buying any of these Game & Watch handhelds? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoy my content and want to further help out my channel, please consider donating to me on Patreon as well as my coffee. Also, please consider hitting that like button, turning on the notification bell, and subscribing altogether. I have been SeetherCord, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.
Dab.
Don't dab.
I'm dabbing in the characters.
Knockout.
Woo!
You won.